What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We got a software update here, 2019.40.2. So we're gonna go ahead and kick this off, and then we'll be right back. But the Tesla might be going to the shop again. I don't know. More to come. More to come. Remember, the little trick is you double tap, or maybe triple tap. You just tap it a bunch of times. It goes to 0. Starts immediately. We're good to go. And we'll be back in like 40-50 minutes and check on this.
A few moments later.
What's up, guys? I got a delicious mint peppermint ice cream for the holidays. You know how it is. Anyway, welcome back to the vlog. We're heading down. It's been about 40 minutes, and my Tesla update should be done. So let's head right out here. Oh, look at this thing sparkling. It's raining out tonight. It's a little nasty outside. But wait for it. Wait for it. What's new in this update? Absolutely nothing, because it's blank. And actually, it does this a lot, so I'm gonna sit here for a minute. Hopefully, you guys won't have to sit here for too long. But this is delicious. Anyways, give me like 2 seconds for this update to finish. I'm gonna finish this ice cream because, yeah, it's delicious. All right, so this is V10.1. It's 2019.40.2. I don't know what that stuff is, but the point is we got new release notes. So most people get like super excited about updates to their car because they have a newer car and they actually like get updates. So like, yes, I get updates, but I don't really get updates if you get what I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. Let me talk about that for a second. So I have a 2014 P85 Tesla Model S. Rear wheel drive, no autopilot hardware whatsoever. Don't have autopilot AP1, AP2, 2.5, 3.0, whatever it is. I don't have any of that. There's no cameras on my car, at least as far as I'm really aware of. I think there's just like sensors for the windshield wipers and then sensors for parking sensors. The only camera is the backup camera. Okay, fine. But that's like a standard thing on all cars now, I believe, in the US. Anyways, that's why I don't really get excited for updates. You see, my car doesn't get any of the new games, doesn't get autopilot, full self-driving updates, it doesn't get cool new features, and all the features that it gets, I don't really use that much. I enjoy driving. I just listen to the free, I think, Slacker radio that I get with my Tesla Model S. I don't pay for Spotify, so I don't use the Spotify app. I've never used Joe Mode. I've never really used, what's it called? There's like a I'm feeling lucky kind of feature where you can just like hit like find food near me and it'll find like popular food, popular destinations. I've never used any of that stuff. I haven't really had a reason to. Maybe if like you were traveling and you didn't know where to eat, you could just hit that, so it would be kind of handy. But I'm sure there's like small features I've used. Like I like the UI updates and all of that jazz, but other than that, it's just there haven't been any like notable updates that I can at least think of. Or if there were notable updates, they just kind of became part of my day-to-day use. Anyways, here's what's new in this update. So see, this release contains minor improvements and bug fixes. I don't even know if you guys can really see that. It's darker text, but yeah, there it is. Yeah, so essentially nothing important on my car. However, people were posting in the Tesla forums or Tesla groups that I'm part of, and they were really excited. So I don't know what this update actually did for their cars, but as you can see, the updates don't do much for my car at this point. I don't have any of the streaming. I forgot about this. I don't have any of the streaming video stuff. I'm not going to get any of the streaming video stuff. The games I have are basic games. I don't have any of the new like Cuphead stuff. No racing games. None of that. Yeah, so pretty boring. Pretty boring. Anyways, let's get to Tesla Talk Tuesday updates. As you can see, I got my RS shirt on. It looks like it's an RS Avant that's on the front. Anyways, we didn't see one of those at Audi headquarters of America on Saturday, unfortunately. But maybe soon. So Infiniti has apparently leaked their QX Inspiration, I think is what it's called. I think it's supposed to come out in 2021. They're supposed to be releasing it at the 2019 Detroit Auto Show. But they finally leaked some images of what it should look like. Infiniti is one of the few like premium manufacturers that still doesn't have an electric car, yet their non-premium Nissan brand does. So it seems kind of odd, but I guess they're finally releasing this electric car in 2021. So it's still over a year away. lots of time waiting for it. Who knows what the actual specs will be? You know, car brands like to release all this stuff ahead of time, and until the car's actually out, it's all up in the air. But what's even more interesting is apparently an Infiniti dealer in Quebec, I believe, they had a very loyal customer, the mayor, and well, apparently he wanted to go electric, and Infiniti, being one of the few car companies that doesn't offer electric vehicles, actually got a Model 3 for him. So he actually took delivery of a Model 3 at the Infiniti dealership. There were pictures, they posted on Facebook. You know, they wanted to thank him for being such a loyal customer, but you know, they acknowledged the fact that Infiniti doesn't have any electric vehicles, so they couldn't offer him anything. And I don't know like the timing of that versus the timing of like Infiniti pre-announcing or pre-showing or leaking their images of the QX Inspiration. I don't know if that's just coincidence or what, but it is interesting that they don't have an electric car out right now. I think they also said that from 2021 on, they're going all electric, which simply means that any new vehicles will be all electric. Any current models that are out will still, you know, potentially be gas models, but if they release any new models going forward, they will be electric. At least that's what I read / interpreted and got out of it. So, excuse me. I guess we'll see going forward, but that's Infiniti's plans. Yeah. So the other luxury car maker, Mercedes-Benz, they're supposed to be coming out with their EQS sedan. And this is supposed to be in between, I think, their E-Class and S-Class. S-Class being like the highest, E-Class being the middle, and then they also have their C-Class sedans, which are there on their lower end. And it's supposed to compete with the Model S. Now, what's interesting is the Model 3 is the car that's really like dominating the market. At some point, I think January through October of 2019 is what I read. The Model 3, I think they had sold over like 220,000 vehicles, which is more than double whatever the second highest electric car is that sold, which is like in the 80,000 range. So more than doubling that easily, almost tripling it actually. But the EQS isn't going to be competing with the Model 3 because it's going to start close to $70,000. I think high $60,000 range. Who knows what the actual range of the vehicle will be and the performance. Now there's supposed to be an AMG model that's going to have up to 600 horsepower, which will be very interesting. I'll be curious to see what that looks like. How that competes with the current Model S performance, what the price point is, what the range is, what the performance is, and then also how it competes with the Taycan. Now the Taycan is more track oriented. It's Porsche. That's kind of their, you know, MO, their homage, whatever you want to call it. Point is, I'm very curious to see all these cars that are supposed to be coming out in the next like 2 to 3 years, I would say. There's probably going to be a lot more high-end cars finally coming out. Margins on those are obviously better, but what is very interesting is that the Model 3, as I mentioned, selling 220-some thousand, you know, units. It's actually stealing more from Mercedes C-Class and BMW's 3 Series, which are the lowest price Mercedes and BMW models that they have, which actually start at a price lower than what the Model 3 starts at. So I think the C-Class and the BMW 3 Series start in like the 20, maybe high 20s, but probably $30,000 range is what you're really looking at. 30, 40,000 is probably the sweet spot. The average selling price of a Model 3 is $50,000, which means that not only is the Model 3 cannibalizing those sales, but Tesla's able to sell those cars at a higher price point, which means that margins are that much better on the Model 3. So Mercedes should really be focusing on competing with the Model 3 and not so much the Model S, because, well, the same graph that I saw, which I'll throw up on the screen, January through October of 2019, the Model S only did about 10% of what the Model 3 did at somewhere around 21,000 units sold. So you can see there's a stark difference in sales between the Model 3 and Model S, which means if the EQS is really competing with the Model S, who knows how many sales they're going to actually do, because at least Tesla has like autopilot going for it, a strong brand following, and on top of that, you got the supercharger network. So I don't know how well the EQS is going to do. I'm also very curious to see how well the Taycan does sort of going forward. There are some pretty good stats with that. High charging rates. You know, Porsche has a very strong brand following. The range is still pretty decent. And, well, the interior looks like most Porsches, which, you know, if people like that, they like that. And from all the reviews I've seen, it drives very well and the performance is repeatable and good. So it does have some good things going for it. However, the price point is much, much more than a Tesla, and will I assume the EQS. Now the EQS is starting just under 70. Who knows what the AMG model will be, but the Porsche starts at 105 and goes all the way up to like 180. So very stark difference in prices. I'll be curious to see what happens going forward. Now, to Mercedes' credit, I don't know the timeline of this, but they have a couple other, I guess, cars planned, all EQ and then some other letters. They have we got the EQA hatch, which will probably be most similar to the Model 3. It looks like it's only 2 doors. That's probably the closest, and that could have about 250 miles on a charge. That's still less than the Model 3's range, but we also don't know what it's going to cost. How quick it's going to be, what are the performance specs, is it going to have any self-driving capabilities? I mean, I guess you'd assume that any chargers, aside from Tesla chargers, it would work with. So there's that. Now, there's also a bunch of other things that are supposedly coming out. You have the EQB SUV, the EQE sedan, and a full-size EQG 4x4. EQS, EQC, those are probably going to be the first two to come out, supposedly competing with closer to the Model S, not so much the Model 3, since it says the EQC SUV will start at $67,900. Now, something for all of you that actually get updates to your car and get the live streaming like Netflix and YouTube and all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, if you guys are watching this video on YouTube or not on YouTube, if you're enjoying the content, please, down there, there's a like button and a subscribe button somewhere. Please consider liking and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. I think we're at 733 subscribers. I'm just trying to get to 1,000. Just 1,000, just 1,000. Anyways, a hacker apparently found some .png files in the Tesla software, I guess, which hints at the fact that they will have Comedy Central, HBO, Twitch, Tile. Tile app is that app where you put the little tile on your keychain, and if you lose it, you can find it. So that would be kind of cool, I guess. If you lose your phone or your keys, you could maybe ping it from your car. I don't know how that would work exactly, but it's all these things are pretty neat, which just means that effectively it seems like Tesla is going to become an Apple TV or Fire TV stick, or a Roku device. There we go. Tesla is incorporating all of these streaming apps and other things like that in order for people to watch on their cars. This is ideal for sitting at a supercharger and waiting the 30-40 minutes. You can hang out, you can check out my YouTube channel, you can watch Netflix, you can watch HBO. So that is very neat, very handy, especially because, well, the cars come with those giant touch screens, which are ideal for viewing and streaming videos. Now, one update that I would personally love would just be being able to mirror my iPhone or have Apple CarPlay. That would probably be something that would be ideal for me. I use Waze all the time. That would be great. I could see the cops, you know what I'm saying? But that is supposedly sort of leaked, so maybe that will be a thing in the near future. I don't know if this update is doing that for other cars, because clearly 2019.40.2 did not do anything for my car, just minor bug fixes. So yeah, it should be interesting to see what other kind of neat things Tesla can release onto their cars later on just by doing software updates. So it is still very cool. You don't see too many other cars adding these in-depth of features, I feel like. So I think this is another reason why Tesla's just kind of crushing it, and they have such a strong brand following. They do very cool things. However, they are still having some service center issues, but it's something you got to consider when you're buying a Tesla. It is what it is, I guess. Now, Teslarati, which is another, I think that's how you pronounce it, but they recently tweeted something that said, Tesla's Cybertruck's massive size is a wake-up call for future owners looking to garage this beast. Now, this truck is huge. There aren't specs out yet, or at least not full specs. I guess there were specs from people having videos and being there, getting a general size. I don't think they officially released specs, but Elon is saying that they will post exact numbers soon. However, he responded to this tweet saying, we can probably reduce width by 1 inch and maybe reduce length by 6+ inches without losing on utility or aesthetics. Minimum height is below 75 inches when air suspension is set to low, and we'll post exact numbers soon. This was December 7th at 6 p.m., so a couple days ago, but it is neat to see that he's considering this. Elon's been pretty good about replying and answering questions about the truck online. He's very active on Twitter, as most people know, so hopefully he'll get back pretty soon. And then speaking of the truck, ATV, that will be very cool. And apparently there's talk of maybe doing like an electric dirt bike as well. So both of those would be sweet options, and supposedly be options with the CyberTruck. So it doesn't seem like they're going to release them like independently, but it would be like if you're buying the CyberTruck, you have the option to also buy the ATV. And last, speaking about the CyberTruck, there have been videos. Elon has been spotted in Nobu in Malibu, I think it was. Either Nobu, anyway, Nobu out in California. Elon was driving around the Tesla CyberTruck. He actually knocked over like a valet cone or something while he was leaving. But someone, there were people taking videos. Somebody got rolling shots driving on the street next to the CyberTruck. They were commenting on how quick it is. You can tell just how quick it is in the video. And it's just like, it's so stark looking on the street. It looks so futuristic, like it's almost fake, like a green screen is just like plopping this futuristic truck on the road next to all these cars. But I mean, just from watching the videos, you can see how quick this truck is and how effortlessly it accelerates just from nothing or just cruising along at 20-30 miles an hour. When it starts to speed up, you can really see it moves. So for the size and weight of this thing, I mean, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds is going to be wild. So I can't wait to drive one of these things. Granted, I've still never driven a Tesla Model S, still never driven a Model 3, still never driven the OG Roadster or the new Roadster. I've only driven a Model S. Kind of interesting. I really should go drive some of those other cars. But I think out of all of them, this is probably what I want to test drive the most. Very excited for the Tesla Cybertruck to come out. As controversial as the designs are, it's interesting. So yeah, I guess we just gotta wait like what, 2-3 more years. But anyways, that's gonna be it for today's Tesla Talk Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. But until next time, thanks for watching.